So I guess we're seeing a renaissance of New York basketball. And then at the same time, up in the Bronx, New York, the New York Yankees are 6-11. They are 6-11 right now. And the last time the Yankees started a season 6-11 was the 1991 New York Yankees, managed by Stump Merrill. And I will just say this to somebody else from a different generation. You know, John Boy, I think, was born in like the 1990 or 91. Didn't he say he was like a 7-year-old when Jeter was winning championships in 96 or something like that? Let me just tell you, as John Boy, I guess, was learning to crawl, I was sitting 3 rows from the upper deck, 3 rows from the top of the upper deck in Yankee Stadium, because those were general admission tickets. You could get those for just mere like $6-7. And then we were able to move down wherever the hell we wanted to go. Because Stump Merrill's Yankees didn't just suck, they sucked. And they didn't have somebody generationally talented like Aaron Judge on it. And they didn't have somebody who broke the bank on both sides of the ball, if you will, in baseball, offense and defense, in Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole, who's doing his darndest. They didn't have a closer like Aroldis Chapman. They didn't have supposedly generationally talented young players like Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez. They didn't have, like DJ LeMahieu would have been the brightest shining star on the team. I think Roberto Kelly was like their best star on the team, who wound up being traded for Paul O'Neill, and then Bernie Williams came into being. And this was the time, 91, when Steinbrenner got busted for, you know, paying off Howie Spira for trying to smear Dave Winfield, which got him ejected by Fay Vincent long enough for the Yankees to not trade away and build their farm system. And that's what led to Gene Michael finally getting, you know, Buck Showalter in and building up the Yankees in the 90s that led to Joe Torre and so on and so forth.
Matt Noakes was your catcher.
Matt friggin' Noakes. And this Yankee team...
That's Kevin Moss's good year.
This Yankee team needs Kevin Moss. Maybe Luke Voigt could come back from injury. They can't hit. They strike out way too much. They can't put the ball in play for their lives with a man in scoring position. They finally did that last night in the 9th inning when they were down 4-0 because they can't hit. The pitchers have too much pressure on them, and then, you know, don't pitch very well outside of Garrett Cole. And Chapman, when he does have one of his now 2 save situations that he's had, they can't field. Aaron Boone is making all the wrong button pushes. It's one of those moments where Boone is left to basically say what he said last night, which is, you know, we're all being positive. We all know that we're going to mash at some point. And my answer is like, when? Because in baseball, it's just like your baseball fantasy league. You fall too far back, you can't make it back up.
Like everybody says, you can't win it in April, but you can sure lose.
You can sure lose it.
Sure lose it.
And, you know, Mr. Red Sox, who's loving tweeting out all this stuff over there, the mass hole across the way, he's smiling because his team is lighting it up. His team doesn't have all of the generationally supposed talented players. His team has Chris Sale is sitting on a 60-day DL, hoping that he can throw off a mound in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I don't know how we're doing it.
But the Tampa Bay Rays are doing it again with their slide rule protractors and Rosarenas when he's healthy. And, you know,
Blue Jays have a lot of young talent.
Right. And the Yankees look terrible because, you know, and Stanton's getting booed. And I'll tell you what, man, he looks like Jesse Barfield with more zeros.
Ooh.
That's what he looks like. Jesse Barfield didn't see a slider that slid so far out of the zone that he didn't love taking a monster hack at. That's the way he looks. The guy who would mash to the tune of like 370 and hit 19 home runs in a month or whatever the hell he did in Miami. He's looking awful. He is a big, huge, yawning, screaming, dark strikeout hole in the middle of this lineup that's got a gravitational pull that seems to be pulling everyone in, and it might be an unfair way to describe him, but I'll tell you what, man. In New York City, you're paid $300 million. You gotta produce. And I will say this. Him, Judge, Sanchez for sure, and most of all, Aaron Boone should be thanking their lucky stars that George M. Steinbrenner III is dead and gone. Because every last one of them would be playing baseball in Seattle now. Another one would be fired. Aaron Boone would be back in the Sunday night baseball booth as sure as there's a third chair that could be placed next to A-Rod and Matt Vasgersian could be. Fair or not, he would be there now. And if you think I'm wrong, one of the greatest home runs ever hit in the history of Yankee baseball was hit by Bucky Dent, who got his ass sent home mid-season, early season, before Memorial Day.
Like the next year, right?
They got to be thankful that George is gone, and Hal is like probably talking to Jerry Jones about naming some stadium in Scandinavia, you know what I mean, or whatever their business ventures are. Because the bottom line, I'm still tuning into Yes sitting in Southern California. My 10-year-old son is still, when I'm out of room, giving me updates on how Aaron Hicks just struck out again from the left side.
He has been
I mean, they're all looking terrible. And I know this is a national show, but the Yankees are a national team in my mind. Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on or when this is going to turn, but 6-11 in the rest of that division to start is brutal.
Honestly,
brutal.
Rich,
you love it. You love it.
I honestly think Aaron Boone should just get an extension at this point. He is doing a hell of a job.
Enjoy it.
I think
because baseball
it's mid-April.
Look, dude, I know, but it's 162.
Yeah, that's long.
But they're all absolute, all of them. LeMahieu is the only heartbeat on that offense right now.
You're not going to hit 200 the whole year.
You got to think so. Law of averages in baseball.
Yeah.
So what are they going to have a May that's just going to be lights out?
Maybe.
And we'll look back at this video and and I calm down.
Everyone except Stanton. I can't see him fixing it.
I don't know, man. All I know is the Knicks are
terrible.
The Knicks are in contention, and the Yankees are not. And I don't know the last time I could. 1991 could have been the last time I said that.
Might be
That's
true.
Weird.
It is a long-ass season. I get it. But I don't know where it's coming from. Because there's no Andy Pettitte walking through that door.
All right,
there isn't.
So the 91 Yankees went 71-91.
I know. And then Stump got the gate and Buck Showalter came back in.
The 91 Knicks were 51-31 and went to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's 1991 all over again, everybody.
Season is not
I know
over.
It's not. I know it's not.
Close. I'm kidding. Mets.
I know it's not.
Coming to Mets.
But it's 1991 all over again.
Yeah.
Poppy Bush. Hey, man. I'll take 1 point of light for the Yankees.
Nice. That is a deep political reference from 30 years ago.
Yankees are 5 games behind the Red Sox. 4 in a loss.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. I understand that.
Yes, but you're tied with the Rockies for the least amount of wins in baseball.
We always stink in the beginning of the year.
No, that's not true.
That is
we
not
do.
true, Mike.
It's not true.
We do.
When you're 5 back like this, I mean, it's not the end of it. But that's why I'm saying again, Boone, Judge, Sanchez, Torres,
sure.
and for sure Stanton should be thankful that Hal's first name is not George. Because this would have been a totally different ball of wax for everybody. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.